I get this question a good bit in comments. When should I fertilize my Bermuda lawn? How often should I fertilize my Bermuda lawn? When is my second application? General questions just about timing of fertilizer. And the answer is not as easy as it sounds, but let me talk about when I fertilize my Bermuda lawn. So to start off with, I use the University of Georgia guidelines for where I live here in Northeast Georgia. My window of fertilizing my Bermuda lawn is May through August, with April being a possible month, depending on how warm we get, and September being a possible month. I typically just fertilize May through August though. How often am I fertilizing? All right, so for this, it's a tricky question. So when it comes to fertilizer, and your goal is to green that lawn up, thicken it up, keep it green, you have to go kind of by color. You can go kind of on a schedule, but how I do it, I'm going to fertilize sometime between 1 month to 2 months. So usually the sweet spot seems to be about every 45 days. Today's June 19th. I put my first app of fertilizer down. I think it was around May 1st or maybe May 2nd or 3rd. And so right now I'm a little bit over that 45-day window, but the lawn started turning noticeably less green. Nitrogen's one of the elements that you really need for a nice green lawn, and you really can't tell how much nitrogen you have or need by a soil test. It's one of those things you have to go by just doing it on a schedule and just visually looking with your eyes and saying, hey, the lawn's starting to get a little pale. It's time for its round of fertilizer. So I went ahead and did my second round of fertilizer today, and typically I'll go another 45 days or so. So I'm looking probably at the end of July, most likely, but I can do as often as once a month. So based on those guidelines, my Bermuda lawn is going to get about 3 to 5 pounds of nitrogen per year. So you want to add up each time how much you're putting down. If you're just doing bag rate, look on the back of the bag and see how much pounds of nitrogen does the bag rate put down on my lawn. So for me, I'm using the Wal-mart Expert Gardener fertilizer. If I do the bag rate, it's 0.91 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. I want to hit 3 to 5 pounds for the whole season. So right now with 2 apps, I'm at about 1.8. So I'm a little under 2 pounds of nitrogen, which is fairly heavy. So I'm going to look at another 1 or 2 apps maybe of that product the rest of the season. Once I get to the end of August into September, for me, I'm not going to put any more fertilizer down. I have cool season grass in my backyard, so mainly for me, I just don't focus on my Bermuda lawn as much in the fall, so I switch my gears to the back cool season. If you have just Bermuda, maybe you want to go ahead and add that extra app of fertilizer in. You do you. It also depends a lot on your climate. I'm in Northeast Georgia. We typically have a fairly cool fall and a cool winter. If you're further south, then you may end up stretching and doing more fertilizer later into the season than I do. So your situation could be pretty different. But just want to answer that question about how often I fertilize my Bermuda lawn. How do I know when to fertilize it? I think it's always easy to know when to do that first fertilizer app. When you see that spring green up, it's time to throw that fertilizer down. But when do you fertilize? Again, that's the thing. You have to kind of learn your lawn basically and kind of learn what the sweet spot is on fertilizing. For me, it seems to be about 45 days. Hey, welcome to About 6 Days in the Future. I just want to show an update of what my front Bermuda lawn looks like after my second app of fertilizer for the year. Let's go check it out. All right, what do you think? Expert Gardener, Expert Results. We've been real fortunate to have a really significant amount of rainfall over the past week here in Northeast Georgia, and I believe a lot of the Southeast, so it is looking pretty darn good. The lawn's really starting to fill in. I may end up having to raise my height of cut, but sitting just under 2 inches of rain for the past 6 days, not bad. I'm pretty impressed with the response to that fertilizer. You can have a lawn like this without all the hyped up products, no hydrotane, no biostimulants, no specialty fertilizers, just a regular pre-emergent plan, weed control with off-the-shelf products like a Roundup for Lawns or Spectracide Weed Stop, good cultural practices, mowing, watering, that's it. Regular fertilization with a cheap big box fertilizer. All right, I'm pretty happy with the results after my second app of fertilizer, a little bit of post-emergent weed control. I'm just gonna keep mowing, watering, and doing what I do, doing the basics. I'll link below a few videos that I've done on the 5 basics for a nice green Bermuda lawn, as well as my Wal-mart Expert Gardener fertilizer application from earlier in the season. I wanna thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.